Hello friends, how are you? Here to show you what I made using this 6x6 paper pad. I only have 2 sheets left and I didn't have the heart to cut this in half, so I don't know what I'm going to use, but I'm gonna hold on to these 2. And then this is what's left. I used mostly all of the scraps. These were on the cut aparts. I didn't use all of them, but I'm sure I'll be using this at some point in some other project. And then this is what was left of the cut aparts. That's it. I'll show you what I did, and I ended up making a total of 53 cards, and some you've already seen, but I'll go ahead and show you the rest. These ones I bagged them up, or packaged them if you will. So most of these you've already seen. I've shown you these. But they actually turned out, I'm very happy with them. I really, really am. So these you've already seen, I think. I truly believe I showed you these. And then here's these. Okay. Then, in addition to that, I made 4 mini slimline cards. So again, this was a 6x6 sheet and I made 2 per sheet. These were the strips that were left over from another batch of these that I had in the package. So I saved those, and these were the design lines from the cut aparts, this and this. So I made these. I have to just make envelopes for those. Then I ended up cutting 3 or 4 sheets of 8.5 by 11, and I made these cards, and I'll show you what I made in addition to that. So these are the ones I cut myself from 8.5 by 11 cardstock. That's one I'm loving this. These here are stickers from this Tim Holtz sticker or ideology sheet or booklet. I got this a couple last year sometime, or earlier in the year. I've used almost all of it, but I love the fact, you know, these sit around forever, and I thought, let me just use these. So I started using the white ones, which is this here. This is a cut apart here. This is a cut apart here as well. So kind of, you know, made the best of it. These little jewels I got, these were from Michaels. These were at just before you go into the register, they come in these little packs. And I don't remember how much I paid for these, but they were not a lot, so that's where I got these from. These are from Prima, but these are the ones that I use, were the ones from Michaels. So I'll close that. And here's this. Here's this. This is a cut apart that we had. It was a longer strip, but I cut it in a piece, and I made that from the scraps of the 8.5 by 11s that I cut down myself. I made all these little guys, little cards. These are, I think, 4x4s, 3x3s. Again, this was one strip of the design line, the 6x6. I just cut it in half, put top and top on the bottom. One on the bottom, one on the top, another design line, same strip. These are gonna start looking familiar to you. I made 2 of those, made 1 of those, made these. They just turned out so cute. These I kind of took the take on the larger cards, so I kind of just changed the direction of the strips. And these strips were leftover pieces from this part here. This sheet here is 4 3/4 by 5 3/4, so that's what this is from. So the strip that was left over from here is how I made the strips. Okay, here are these cuties. They just turned out, I'm really happy with how these turned out. These are another one of my favorites. These little jemmies are from the Michaels package, a different color. Again, this strip here is from that Tim Holtz sticker sheet. Different ones there. In addition to the 8.5 and 11 went by really, really well. I made these here from the strips as well, just different direction. So these were a little bit smaller. These are just too cute. These little flowers I got from, this was a Hobby Lobby find that I had gotten earlier this year sometime, or last year I think, and I just started using those. And I'm planning on using some of these on my orders and just mail some out just because, but these just turned out really, really cute. And I just changed the direction of this. This was a design line from the sticker pack, the design lines where the cut aparts were. And these little itty bitties, I said, I'm not gonna get rid of these little, and these papers here, actually, I had left over from a mini journal that I made, a tiny journal I made a while ago. And these were just sitting in my stash, and being that I had these pieces of paper left over, everything is from scraps. So the silver were scrap pieces, this gold piece was a scrap piece. So all of these little ones were made from scraps that I've had a long time ago, and I just added the paper that was left over from this project. So you can see there's a lot here. So I'm like, okay, these are great. I love this. I'm using my stash of papers that I've had, and I made these. So a different take, gems again from, these ones are from Prima that I got last year sometime. Here's this one. These are also Prima jewels. Flowers from Hobby Lobby. But you get the gist of what's happening here. These are just strips. This gold piece was also from my stash. So there's that one. There's this one. I didn't want to layer too much so that I can just mail them regular. So I really don't have, I didn't add height to those. And then these ones, I just changed the direction. These were leftover strips, like similar to these, but from the actual paper. And so whatever I had left, these are two pieces of paper that I just butted up against each other so that this wouldn't waste. And this one the same. This was a leftover strip, and I just kind of put it together because I didn't have enough paper to complete the whole front of the card. And I think this was cute. I fussy cut this from this sheet of paper, and so I use the flower. These butterflies are on the actual paper, and I thought these were too cute not to use, so I just stuck them on the front of the card. So a different take on the card. I think it turned out really well. And then this one. These were leftover strips that I hadn't used, and so I just, these are 1/2-inch strips. And so I just, these ones are 1/2 inch. These are a little bit smaller. So I kind of just used whatever I had left. This end piece and this end piece were cut from whatever I cut off from the ends of here. So that's what I used here on the ends. I don't know about it's missing a sentiment. I don't know what I'm going to do to it. It's a little flashy. Flashy is not my style, but you know, I had to put something on here, and you know, the strips. But this is what I made with this pack of paper that I got from Hobby Lobby, Michael's a while ago, and just these two strips, these 2 pages are left, and I didn't have the heart to cut these, so I'm sure I'll make something with this. I just don't know what. But you saw this when I started. It was 48 sheets. I made 53 projects with this paper. All right, so I wanted to share that with you. I'm happy. I don't want to see another flower for a while. I don't want to see flowered paper, but I'm excited to start my next project. This was fun. A fantastic way to get rid of your scraps, things that you have sitting around. Just use them, and they're not going to go to waste. These will be used, and so it makes my heart happy. So there you go. I made all of this with one paper pad, and the cards and envelopes are things that I showed in my stash in the previous 2 videos ago. So that's it. That's what I've got. This is what's left, and that's all she wrote. Thank you guys. Until next time.